coup, what a sight. It's pretty neat in here. Feels kind of comfy, too. Feels very comfy, but not as comfy as my Corvette. Oh, hey! Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Detroit here, the doctor is in, and tonight, it's time for another episode of Doc's Racing Notebook. But today, I figured we have a little look at something that I failed to mention a couple episodes ago. So, we learned about the lingo, we learned about your eyes, and we learned about other things, but there is one glaring thing that I forgot to cover, and it's also one of the other important things that you will need when you're out there on the racetrack, and that is throttle and brake control. And see, here's the thing. Throttle and brake control isn't just, putting the pedal to the metal, turning left, turning right, and then all of a sudden jamming on the brakes after that, and then going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's not how that works. That's absolutely not how that works. No, for this one, every single car has a different gas system and a different braking system. Because as long as you guys can figure it out, then you'll be all right. In fact, here, let's take a look. Let's take a look down here. I have another camera that's right here between my legs. So over on the right-hand side of my foot is the gas pedal, and on the other side there is the brake pedal. Now you might think to yourself that as race car drivers, we can absolutely, mat these things, which we can, but when it comes to certain road courses and certain tracks and other things, we have to do something called feed. We have to feed the brakes or feed the gas sometimes. Because, well, there's a few things that could happen. If we hit the gas too hard, we could spin the car out or cause a lot of wheel spin, because a lot of these cars don't have traction control. If we hit the brakes too hard, then we're going to lock up the front wheels and cause an accident. Of course, every single car and every single track has a completely different braking zone, as well as also a different type of accelerator. It really depends on how much horsepower your car has, and also how much torque it has in the back. We're sitting inside right now of a Porsche 911. This is actually the FAF Motorsports number 9 Porsche that was driven, I believe, in 2022 over in IMSA, a series that I'm very familiar with. And the interesting thing about this car is that it's really nice in here, and this thing also does not have, traction control of any type. So you're at the mercy of what your foot can do. Ever heard somebody call you a lead foot? Well, you don't want to be a lead foot too many times, because certain racetracks, as I said, have different braking zones and a bunch of other different things as well. Plus, it also depends on the car. This car here is pretty heavy, so this one needs a little bit more distance to come to a full stop, or to slow down enough so that way you can take the turn a little bit easier. Let's use a visualizer to show you what I mean between the gas and the brake. And we also use this too quite a lot. So if we do it like this, so if I create a little rectangle like that, that's going to be for the brake. And then over here, we're going to go ahead and make this little thing be the gas. Okay. So here we have the different ones. We have gas over here and brake over here. Now, what you're about to see is the visualization. When you put your foot in it, this bar over here gets full, and it gets right here towards the top. Now, of course, when you go to mat the thing, it'll shoot straight up. But then, as soon as you take your foot off the gas, this bar goes down. Same thing goes with this side. Over here, if you go hard on the brakes, then it's going to go right through the roof. But if you just apply a little bit of braking, kind of like as you're slowing down for a red light, then you're literally only just feeding it just a little bit. In racing, we have to manage this throughout the entire race. Here's the main thing. It depends on our setups and things like that. Sometimes we end up using traction control that we can tune during the race. I did say that a lot of cars don't have it, but a lot of the ones that I have raced do have it. But we can turn it more and we can turn it less. But you gotta be really careful though. If you turn it back a little too far, the second you go for the gas, you could end up spinning out. Same thing goes with the brake. If you hit this too hard, then what's going to happen is that you're not going to have any stopping power. In fact, let's also give you another visual thing. Here's what it looks like when somebody feeds the brake into their normal street car. Smooth stop. Now let's take a look at what happens when somebody jams on the brakes. Now that car could stop on a dime, but again, if it was a heavier race car, then it could take a very long time to stop that thing. And, you know, even though this is really cool too, I think you guys might want to see this more in action rather than, you know, editing stuff. So you know what? I have a little idea. And I think you guys are going to love it. Now that you know what to look for in terms of gas and brake, let's put it towards the test. Now, we're here at Deep Forest Raceway, but unfortunately, we can't drive today because the track is getting repaved right now. So, no cars allowed. But don't worry, I have another way. To show you both gas and brake, I did some recording out at Virtual Auto Club Speedway. Now, the real Auto Club Speedway is located in Fontana, California, and sadly, though, it's been completely destroyed because NASCAR decided to sell out to a warehouse, preferably a Amazon warehouse, and let me tell you something. We haven't forgiven you yet, NASCAR. But the good news is, Auto Club Speedway lives on in so many different mods for so many different games and so many different racing divisions. So for this one, we're going to use Assetto Corsa, because over there we have the perfect gas and brake indicator to give you guys an idea. First up, we're going to show you in a road version of my Chevrolet Corvette Stingray C8. And I gotta tell you, it was a lot of fun filming out there, especially at Virtual Auto Club Speedway. But we're going to use the rollable portion of this. The rollable portion of Auto Club Speedway was used for a lot of Grand Am races before it became IMSA, and was even used for MotoGP and a few other divisions too, including the classic cars as well. So, let's take a look at the footage. You'll actually get an onboard camera of me going around Auto Club Speedway in a really cool looking Corvette Stingray. So let's take a look at this first in a road-going car. Alright, so here we are at Virtual Auto Club Speedway, and we're going to start off this session by driving this Corvette C7 Stingray, and what I've done is that I've done something pretty cool. As you can see here on the side, that we have the brake and the gas. You don't need to worry about the white part because that's the clutch. So we're going to start off by going in the street car around the road course here at Virtual Auto Club Speedway. So, here we go. Now the main difference here though is that because this is a road-going car, I need to allot a little bit more time for this thing to slow down. So as I'm getting up to speed here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, start braking way back here. And notice how I'm not putting too much brake into it up until that point. Because this is a road-going car, so this one does not have capabilities and everything. Now you might also see too that we have the informative best line. That is actually something that that you can use in racing, because this is a client-side deal, so you can turn that on or turn that off. Me, I keep it on just to make sure that just to make sure I know exactly where to brake and everything, especially if I'm on a new track. I've driven this place many times. But see how I'm not putting as much brake into this? But you can see that we're just a little bit on the tight side. Now here we go, we're going to go between these guys. There we go. Now watch again, we're going to be coming in here. You can see right there, now I've kind of rolled out of the brake and rolled back into the gas. Ooh, took it a little too wide, but that's alright. Because this is only the road-going car. But you can see that I'm playing around with the gas and the brake. It's also very hot out here too, so that's why I got the AC blowing. Hopefully the mic's not picking it up. Alright, now let's go for a full lap, and what I want you guys to do is that I want you to listen to me hitting the gas and the brake and the symphony of the engine, because you guys need to hear that. You can see right here we had to let off the gas because we don't have any downforce on this car. Now listen to the engine as I start to brake. You want to keep an ear out on the engine to see how well, because the thing is that pretty soon you'll get to that point where you'll be able to tell when you can pick up the gas again. And of course my braking points are a lot different compared to like in a race car, but we'll get inside the race car very soon here. Once again, down the backstretch we go, and now I'm going to start braking right about here. Light braking. There we go, taking it careful. I kind of shifted down a little too soon. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay quiet on this lap and let you guys hear the engine itself. You can see we didn't pick it up on that lap because I did make a mistake going through the backstretch area. But as you can tell, just based on all this, you can see how much gas and brake that I'm actually using. We'll go for one more lap here. And again, just like what I was mentioning, I'm using 75 to almost full brake, but I'm letting the car slow down. Because remember, this is a road-going car. There we go. Take it nice and easy through these corners. In fact, we're kind of doing it almost like a pace car, almost. And I'll tell you one thing, this place... Ooh. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, 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 no. Ah, great. Well, that's what happens when you... I guess that's what happens when all of a sudden the lag spike hits, and then all of a sudden that happens. Well, I'm gonna limp this car back to pit road, and then we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, that lag spike absolutely killed that car. Because by the time we got back into the corner, I was hoping to bring the thing back to pit road, and then all of a sudden, lag spike happens, wheel doesn't turn, brakes are locked up, and we definitely hit the guardrail. Thankfully, though, it's a Chevrolet, so it's pretty easy to fix. And that's one of the cool things about, Chevrolets, is that you know what? They're very easy to fix. And also, we didn't hit that wall, that hard. At least. Alright, now, before we go into the next portion of this, we gotta take ourselves a very quick break. But when we come back, I got a really special treat for y'all. Because you know what? We're gonna be showcasing a hypercar. It'll be our first ever hypercar here on this channel. Well, okay. The first one that you guys normally see is in the intro, which is the Cadillac hypercar. But there's one before it that we are going to show off. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this word from your local station. You're watching Doc's Racing Notebook here on the Electric Paradise Studios Network.
Safety is #1 here at Bokuma International Airport. Every single airplane is inspected and repaired by yours truly. Fedora Airlines has some of the safest planes around, and through this special TV offer, if you buy tickets to go anywhere with Fedora Airlines using the code 2TAILS, you'll receive 2 tickets at half off. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Fedora Airlines and even Air Tennis all passed their safety checks on the first try, but there was only one airline that was voted the safest flights ever, and that is Kaz Express, the official airline of the Traveling Nardo, and also the official cargo airline, so don't be shy about booking your next flight with Bokuma International Airport. We do the flying for you. Or better yet, leave it to me.
King Elias Acorn here for Squirrel Sound Studios, the only place here in Mobius that has all of your musical needs. No, we don't have records of me making noises. We have records of all sorts of your favorite rock artists, pop artists, and everything in between. Step into a ring of fire and walk the line with Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Can you go the distance? Can you go for speed? Well, we got a little cake right here to help you out. Go back and forth and tell me what's the word. Word up with Cameo. I can see you want your MTV, and so does Dire Straits with this album, Brotherhood in Arms. Or you might ask this one question that only comes once in a lifetime. Well, how did I get here? You never know what you're gonna find here at Squirrel Sound Studios. Because here at Squirrel Sound Studios, we sell nothing but the best music. What's in your record player?
Hello there, I'm Dr. Bones Pulsar. I'm from the Astro Boy Express. Cold and flu season's just around the corner, So why don't you get one of these things? For $19.95, you can actually get what's called a Vicks humidifier. Just add water to these things. No filter that you have to clean out. And you can breathe in the nice fumes of Vicks Vapor Rub. Or maybe this box of Advil liquid gels, now only $7.49 at your local Kmart. However, if the cold or the flu have already caught you, you can buy one of these. This is a 30 count of Mucus Relief DM. 9 out of 10 doctors, myself included, recommend this. You can get it now for only $30. Don't let cold and flu season beat you to the punch, mate. Head down to your local Kmart and get yourself one of these things today.
America's favorite store. Kmart, the saving place.
Hmm. Oh, you're back. Anyway, welcome back to Doc's Racing Notebook. Now, as you guys saw beforehand, we went out to Auto Club Speedway with our Corvette and showed you guys how it works in the road going car. But now, I got a very cool treat for you because we're gonna now go out there in a hypercar. In other words, a GTP. More specifically than that, we're going out there in the 6.5-liter V12 Aston Martin Valkyrie. Ooh, this is going to be so cool. This is going to be so cool. The Aston Martin Valkyrie is probably one of the most cool sounding hypercars that we have out there next to the Cadillac. Now, we all know that the Cadillac has got a Boffo 5.5-liter V8 that, once it fires up, it just is a ground pounder. But when the Valkyrie fires up its 6.5-liter V12, that thing screams, as every single V12 does. And it's also a big fan favorite, because once this thing blows past you at speed, whoa, it's cool. So, thanks to the Aston Martin team for at least allowing us to, take their car out for a spin. Let's go ahead and get behind the wheel of that particular car, and let's have a little fun and hear that screaming V8. Roll that V8 footage. V8, god damn it, it's a V12, not a V8. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm gonna leave that in because, I'm a Cadillac driver, so I know my V8s. It's a freaking V12. Old habits die hard, don't they? Alright, so this time around, we have the Valkyrie. I'm going to be driving this pretty soon for a specialty race in the IMSA League I'm a part of, but just listen to this. That's the sound of a V12 right there. So, the Corvette we had about maybe 400 some odd horsepower. This thing's got 670, and it's also much lighter than a regular street car. So let's see if we can tear this thing around the track, and while we do that, make sure you're watching both the brake and the gas. But here we go. Oh yeah, baby. Man, this thing is so loud and it's super cool. Now, of course, as you can see, because it's a race car and everything, I have to hit the brakes a little bit earlier, but I can also pick up the throttle a little bit more because this thing is a downforce master. Of course, the tires are brand new on this thing, so it's going to take a little bit to get them all, brought in. Now here I don't need to hit the brakes up until that point, because look at this. I can take this way harder into the corner than I could the Corvette. Oh man, this thing is so cool. And you know what too? In a future episode of Doc's Racing Notebook, we're gonna feature this Valkyrie a little bit more when we take a look at the hypercars. Alright, now I'm going to stay quiet here and let you guys hear this monstrous engine. Remember to keep an eye on the pedals. We get an onboard camera right now, so that way you can actually see what I see right now. Oh, this is so much fun. These hypercars are extremely fun too. And the other thing too is that I'll mention this again when we go to showcase this car, but this is the only hypercar currently, or GTP car, that does not have a hybrid system on it. This is a straight V12. Or I should say it's a naturally aspirated V12, a 6.5 liter V12. Oh, this is great. This is so much fun to just, blast around this place in this particular car. I absolutely love this Valkyrie. And you can see we picked it up to a 126.067, I'll say. I'm not going to do that 6-7 crap. Anyway, let's go for one more lap, because I'm having way too much fun out here. See if we can make it better too. Also, you're hearing, my shifting patterns too. So now you have two things to worry about, which is basically my shifting patterns. So just keep an eye on both the gas and the brake and where I shift, because I am short shifting a little bit here with the Valkyrie. Now for this final lap, I want you guys to look for some benchmarks and see if you can pick up on my own benchmarks and see where I break. A 124.320. Oh my goodness. This Valkyrie is magnificent. I will say though, I do miss my Cadillac hypercar, but this thing is just amazing. Whew! What a lap, and what a good run there. But anyway, folks, I'm sure you guys now understand, kind of how the throttle and brake control works. So now, hopefully when you guys go out there and run your own laps and stuff, you'll be able to, do some of the same things that I did. Anyway, I'm going to bring this thing back to pit road, and then I'll meet you guys back at my little compound. Can you tell that I had fun driving the Aston Martin Valkyrie? It's pretty cool because I've driven the Valkyrie before and got a pro victory at the Le Mans Prologue back in the IMSA League I'm a part of in Assetto Corsa. And you know what too? Like I said, every car is different, but if we stayed here showing you guys every single car, we'd probably be here till the year 2020, no, 2050 or something like that. But, all good things must come to an end, so that's going to do it for this episode of Doc's Racing Notebook. If you guys want to see more of these, or have a racing topic that I should cover in a future episode, make sure you hit the like button, don't forget to comment down below with it, and also subscribe too, because this channel is growing really fast, and who knows, maybe we might hit 400 subs before this year is out. But for right now, I gotta take this boy back with me, back towards home. And I also gotta give it back to my Uncle Bones, or actually Dr. Bones Pulsar. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time here on Doc's Racing Notebook. Until then, take care.